Hey friends, I have a fun unboxing today. I ordered something from Atlas Stationers using the affiliate money that I have received from you guys or through you guys. And I want to show you what is in here because I am going to give away samples. All right, I've been talking about this since forever, and this is only part of the giveaway. So the full details will be announced in another video. This time it's a bigger box than usual. I'm just gonna grab everything out. There's one thing. There's lots of this. I haven't purchased ink bottles in forever. And this, and then let's look at it one by one. Okay, so where do we start? Maybe we'll start here. I have been talking about this since forever. No, not as long as the giveaway though. I have been meaning to compare my Lamy that I have had for 20 years. It's a medium nib, and I wanted to compare it to a regular medium nib that is on the pens here. And so I looked on their website, and they still had the AL in petrol, All-Star in petrol. And so I got that one. It has a medium nib. It comes in this paper box, and they came in this paper box also since forever. They have these fun pen sleeves included here. Let me check out how that works. So there's this cardboard ring right here that you need to take off. And it's there because if you would screw this all the way in, the cartridge would pop. So I just sold, or just in January, I sold 2 of my Lamys, I think. January, maybe even before that. Okay, this is quite, there's a harder edge that feels not as smooth as others. It's a medium steel nib, and it's not colored or anything. The nib looks okay. I don't think I'm going to test this pen right now because I actually got something else too. A broad nib. That's something, again, as well, that I wanted to try. And so I put that in the cart as well. I have used Lamy pens all through high school. I know how they feel, but I want to try this sleeve. It's nice. I don't really think that I would actually use it. So maybe I'll add that to the giveaway so it's not cluttering my house. Let me quickly grab my old one. I came here completely unprepared. This is my Lamy Safari that I have. See, and this is what I don't really think you can see it, but this edge is really, really like as if you could cut yourself, or rough, very edgy. And this is very smooth here. I have not experienced that before, and it's true for both of those here, this one and this one. Not so much these two. Interesting. I have had this nib forever, and I just recently heard Brian Goulet on the Pencast say that the only reason why a steel nib would start to flex or get wider is because the metal is like, I don't know, giving in or something like that. And so I was wondering if, because this is so old, 25, how old am I? So 46 minus 25 is, I can't count, 21? Is that true? No. Yeah. So I even had this before that. So let's say 30. That's 16. Oh my gosh, I'm really old. So this nib is about 30 years old. So I just want to see if there's a difference in the writing. That's why I purchased that, and the broad nib, just to see how it feels. I have a broad nib experience, also 30 years old-ish, more 25, and that had such a broad nib and had such a hard start. I assume it was baby's bottom, but I didn't know back then what it was, and so I never really used it. But now I'm really excited to add this to my collection. This is more my exploration collection, so this is, maybe I'll keep it in the long run, maybe I'm not going to keep it, but it's really great that I get to try all of those things out. Then I ordered a mystery box. I was ever since I saw them offering this, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to try it, but how would it work for me? Because I'm so picky. I'm really loving the idea of mystery and surprises, but I'm always disappointed, or I have such a hard time not knowing what I'm getting. So this was actually really good because, first of all, it was pulled on TikTok, and I will link the video and the minutes in the description box down below. But it also, when they pull this and then they tell you that they have sent it out, they modify your invoice. And let me quickly modify my invoice so you can see it. So this is what I ordered, and once they pulled it and then they sent it, it adds these inks to your invoice. If you want to be surprised, then you shouldn't look at it after they tell you that they sent out the order. And so that was really good for me, because this way I didn't have to like unbox this and be like, oh, raspberry rose, oh, Lierre Sauvage. I was able to do some research online and check out those inks, and I'm actually really excited to test them all. So I ordered this bottle separate from the mystery box. This is the mystery box, and this is the ink that I purchased. Again, if you've watched my videos recently, then you know that I have completely head over heels fallen in love with Dominant Industry Earl Grey tea. I will pull the swatch cards for the inks that I already have in my collection, because let me read what I told them. I was very picky. That's another thing. I'm very picky with the inks, and I was super afraid they would pick something that I would never really enjoy. And even though I want to give away samples of those inks, I would still love to use them too and enjoy them. So I decided to really put in the notes what I prefer and what I like, leaving them hopefully enough options to pick something that I would enjoy. First of all, I asked for this to be pulled on TikTok. And so then I said, if I may make some requests for the mystery box, please and thanks. I recently fell in love with Pelikan Edelstein Apatite. If that could be included, I'd love you forever. I'm not one for heavy sheening inks. No shimmer and illegible light inks aren't my thing either. Currently, I'm all for darker, bright, legible, but not boring inks. I'm curious what you'll find for me. Thanks so much. You are awesome. Peace out. That's what I wrote. And this is what they came up with. And I have to tell you that I really like what I see. I do have this ink already. I don't have either one of those. I have never used any of those. I did use a sample of this, and I'm really excited to add this to my collection. And I'm also really excited to share some of this with you in my giveaway, because this ink, everybody should at least try a sample of this ink. Let's look at the box or the bottle. These are so big. How many milliliters are in here? 50. It looks so huge, and the amount of ink looks so tiny in comparison to this. I'm going to swatch the ones that I haven't used yet, that I don't know. This is Jacques Herbin. Is it a Urbain or Herbin? Lierre Sauvage. These are regular inks. These are 30 milliliter inks. Made in France. Made in France. Can you put your pen up here? Ish, kind of. But yeah, it's a green, and I'm very curious to see what this looks like. And then this is from the 2021 Inkvent. It is Raspberry Rose, and it was one of those that I really liked. So I'm excited to have a bottle of this. This one is 50 milliliters as well. And this ink bottle is just so outrageous. And then the last one is Lamy Crystal Ink. I have never used Lamy Crystal inks before. You know, the packaging of those things, it's like perfumes and stuff. Oh, this one looks like it leaked. Oh no, that's no bueno. Yep. But it looks like there's still enough ink in there. So we see the color. And then let's open this. Yep, there it leaked a little, but it's okay. There's still enough ink in there. I am going to swatch these and add them. Ooh, no, help. There's a lot of ink on the back here. But why would it? I don't know. It's okay. I added up the mystery box is $60 for 4 bottles, and I added. There's something wrong with this bottle. Like, oh no. Okay, let's just be really, really careful with this. Not sure why this happens, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep it upright, and I'm not going to move with this ink. It's purple, as we can all see. What was I going to say? Yes, I'm going to swatch these inks, and I'm going to speed up the video and talk a little about the colors. I don't want to bore you with these long processes, and then the video is like 15 minutes long, and then nobody really watches it. So I will prepare for that in a second. But they also, when your order is pulled on TikTok, most of the time, I'm not sure if that's a thing that is happening all the time, but they include some gimmicks, and I saw them add so many things to like, oh yeah, we're going to throw all of this in. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. So they added a sample bottle. This is 0.5 ounces. I don't even know how many milliliters that is, but it looks more like, if this is 30, then maybe this is 20 or 25 or 15. 15 is a bit, this is 12. So, I will swatch this as well. I think I already swatched this too. So I just will put it into my swatch book, but not onto my swatch cards. And then they added 2 washi tapes. I think what I will do is roll those on samples, and we'll include them in the giveaway too, so that you all can enjoy some of those. And then they gave me 2 of those, and I thought those were blotter papers, but it's really heavy, and it's probably not. No. Oh my gosh, I've wanted one of those since forever. Look at this. So cute. Thank you so much, Atlas, Brandon, and Brian. That's so cool. I'm gonna keep one. I'm gonna give one away. And then let's lastly just look at the bottle of this ink. I don't own a lot of ink, so I don't really know what these ink bottles look like. And I should use some kind of knife for this. Wow, with a pipette, that's nice. Now let's get rid of this first. Wow, I think of all of those, I got some really fun shapes. This is really nice. This is 25 milliliters. Okay, so what I am going to do is set up and come back and show you all the things. So here is all the inks that I already own on my coloring cards and the swatches in the swatch book when I did those previously. And now I am preparing for the swatching. I am using my swatch book, which is a standard size 52 GSM Tomoe River notebook from Paper Penguin Co. This was originally an A5 size, but I cut it down to standard size, and it's grid. And I say this all the time in my swatching videos, so maybe I should say this here too. I don't really think that it's necessary for you to swatch your inks. This is something that I really, really enjoy. It gives me, it's kind of like meditating without sitting there doing nothing. I really just love playing with colors, and this is perfect. So I am keeping those bottles in the boxes. I'm not sure if that is super necessary to do, but I really I feel like I'm adding another protective layer. I'm currently storing the bottles in a drawer at my desk, but if I might need to store them where light would hit them, then I would still have the boxes, and I would be able to store them without what is that called? UV light. Daylight, being able to mess with the color of the ink. The first ink that I'm swatching is Lamy Azurite, Crystal Ink Azurite, and it is a very, very blue purple, or a very purpley blue. I am done with my color family swatch book, so now the only inks that I'm adding to them is not the ones that I have in my stash, but the ones that come into my house. And I had a really hard time deciding where to put this, to the purples or these blues. I think it wasn't 100% the right decision to put it there, but this color family swatch book is not about what being correct. I have, since I started this in, I think, March of this year, 2023 is this year, I have come to realize that, at least for me, it is super hard to determine what color an actual color is, and I start to overthink. If it's a yellow green or a green yellow, or if it's more orangey, is this an orange? Is this a dark orangey yellow? And so I'm going with what I see, and I'm putting it there. And when I realize this is not where it's supposed to be, then maybe I'll add it on another page when I think maybe this helps me be able to compare this color better. But this is for me, and this again is a lot of fun and joy. And so I don't really need to be 100% perfect. And when I swatched Raspberry Rose, which is this color that you see right here, I thought, oh, wait a minute, I have this looks so different than what I remember swatching during the ink vent. And so I swatched the little teeny tiny bottle that I received in the ink vent calendar on the side, and you see it's the exact same color. And I really like this ink, and I have no clue why I have not used this ink yet. I really have to remedy that. What was the next thing? I lost my train of thought. So, Raspberry Rose. I feel like Raspberry Rose is a very wet ink. That is good to know, because then I can use it in some of the pens that are drier. The next color that I'm using is Lierre Sauvage, and the first impression that I had was that it was very watery. Also, let me know. I mean, this video was already 16 minutes long before I started swatching, so I felt like this was the only option that I had in order to get this video stay at around 30 to 40 minutes long. But if you would rather prefer me talk while I'm swatching, then let me know. I know that the next video, which is another unboxing video, I will have several unboxing videos, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't know. Do you like unboxing videos? I'm always very impartial about those. I'm very judgmental, because it's like I don't really want you all to buy all the things, because I feel like we have so much stuff already. Why don't we just use that? But then on the other hand, there's sometimes reasons why I buy things, and then not to share those, because sometimes it's really informative as well. Yeah, I don't know. So there will be several unboxing videos and showing of new product in the coming weeks, maybe even. Yeah, it's probably coming weeks. And that's just what's going to happen. But the next video I already filmed, of course, and I'm talking along the swatching process. I did not put it the next video, because when I filmed this, I felt like it was so long doing all of those, what is that called, chromatography, and putting the swatches into the color family notebook, that felt very time consuming, and so I omitted that in the other video. We will talk about the other video when it comes up in my next video. Let's talk about what is happening here. This is Pelikan Edelstein Apatite. I don't understand why it's called Apatite. That's how we would pronounce it in German, because that's not how. So the ink is an English name for the mineral. I'm super confused. Every time I try to pronounce this, it's like, okay, I'm German, so I can actually pronounce Pelikan Edelstein the way it's supposed to be pronounced, but then I have to pronounce appetite in English, because that's not the German word for the Edelstein. So I actually would have to look. I think it's Apatite. Not sure where the pronunciation lies, like the accent, or yeah, that's what it's called. Is it apatite or apatite? Well, it sounds the same. Let's talk about the next ink, which is Anderylium Cuttlefish Brown. It is a brown, yep, that leans greenish on the Tomoe River paper, and I already have it in. I received this ink as a sample from the ink flight box. I think that was maybe in January of 2023, and it looks so much redder in the color family swatch book than it looks on this paper. I'm always amazed at how different inks look on different papers. This definitely is one of those. The chromatography that I am doing the same way all the time. I feel like that helps with being able to compare these strips with each other. However, I just realized earlier last week that I just recently moved, if this is your first video. So now I live somewhere where it's much drier than where I lived before. So now probably all of my new chromatography results are skewed because I'm not in a lab. I cannot reproduce lab situations. So of course it's different. But I make a line onto the chromatography strip with my Kakimori dip nib. I apply the same amount of ink basically onto that paper with each ink. And then I am submerging it, but not the ink, just the paper below for 1 minute in water for 1 minute. And then I let it dry. And during that dry time, it will move up the chromatography strip more, which means that since it's drier here, it probably dries faster. So then the ink will not travel as far up as it used to when I lived at the other place. I just showed you the different inks in their color family thingy. And this is what I note onto the paper when I am on the back of my cards. I have the same information in my fountain pen companion with the inks. I write down how I received the ink. So I write down if it's a bottle or a sample. I write down the month that I got it. I write down where I got it from. If it's a bottle, I write down the milliliters that are inside. And then, so sample bottle, when I got it, where I got it from. Either I got it from a friend, most of the time that's a sample, then I just write the name, or I got it from a shop, so I write the shop name. Then I also write what page it is on the color family swatch book. If I do not have that ink anymore, but I still have the card, then I make a circle and cross it out. And then I write the page where it is on the color family swatch book, so I can find it easily in that book. And then lastly, if I have explored this fountain pen ink in one of my ink journals, then I write what ink journal it is on and what page it is on. I have currently 2. And so I just write IJ is the abbreviation for ink journal. It's number 1 or number 2. And then I write the page for the first one because it was a Hobonichi. It's usually not the page, but the month and date where you will find that. And the other one, there is no page numbers, but you can number the inks. And so I just use that number in there. And that is all there is. I had just recently received some amazing swag. No, really amazing product. I'm talking about that in another video as well. From Fountain Pendulum, and they sent along a sample of this Krishna Chennai ink, and I decided to add it onto this page because there was still one space left. And this ink is amazing. I assume that it's probably pretty dry. Because it's very, very highly saturated, and it also kind of sheens, and it stuck to the outside of the ink vial. That's always for me at least, an indicator that this ink is very, or the experience that I have is when an ink behaves like that in the ink sample vial, then it often behaves very dry in a fountain pen. So that's the indicator that I have. However, this ink is a chromo shading ink, or like it appears like the Sailor Urameku inks. However, it's not just turning brown. No, it turns from this really beautiful teal color to an amazing olive green. And that's why I put it onto two different pages in this color family swatch book, because I didn't know what was going to happen to that ink. All right, so these are all the inks. I will have a video out where I'm talking about the giveaway sooner rather than later. Well, no, I'm not promising. I'm just, whenever I get to it, I'm getting to it. Thank you so much for watching. Which one was your favorite ink of those in the mystery box? And have you gotten a mystery box yet? What was your experience? I would love to hear. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.